Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. In today's video I thought we'd take a closer look at what I call my bottom swale. It's the swale that runs off my dam and it's the furthest from the house, so it's also the easiest to neglect. It's been taken over by grasses and I've had some of my productive trees die. So in today's video I'm going to show you what I'm attempting to do to fix this problem and explain to you why I think it's going to work. Shortly after my dam was constructed, it quickly filled with water. I was excited to find around 40 local ducks visiting. Little did I realise at the time that they were eating all of my cover crop seeds. Around the same time, my carefully laid out hay kept being blown away by strong winds. When I planted my trees, I used mulch, but not cardboard, and I found the grasses quickly took over. I've given the swale little attention since. The grass has thrived, but my trees have not. I need to put in some time and turn this all around. First of all, I'd like to explain what a swale actually is. Well, a swale is basically a ditch dug on contour. All the soil that's removed from the ditch is piled up on the lower edge of the swale. The water that would have normally just run down the hill to the creek now collects in the ditch and slowly sinks into the soil there. Swales are actually a tree growing system. You do need trees to help sink the water into the subsoil. Otherwise, the whole area would just get too soggy. With the trees, you can plant them all along the berm or on the lower edge of the berm and also on the upper edge of the cutout for where the swale ditch is formed. Over the years, more and more water actually seeps down under the surface of the soil and plumes out below so that it hydrates larger and larger areas each year. So it creates a really resilient system through drought years. Those roots of the trees are still really well hydrated. This particular swale connects to my dam as the overflow. Water moves down the slope and collects here, but when the dam is full, water will also come from the dam. If there is a large rain event, water leaves the swale at the far end. I need to build a level sill spillway to passively release the water. However, at the moment it leaves via a channel washed out in my first big rain, as I hadn't created my spillway at that point. When the swale was constructed, I covered the bare ground with old hay and planted a cover crop with the hope that this would grow and shade out any grass seeds. I also planted out my productive trees as well as the pioneer or support species. These support species have a number of functions. They are fast growing and often fix nitrogen in the soil, which becomes available to our higher value plants when we prune them, chop and drop style, which also provides a woody mulch. Their presence also protects our young, slower growing trees by providing shelter from the wind and frosts or shade on hot summer's days. Carefully selected, they also provide food and habitat for wildlife and pollinators. Birds and animals bring in fertility and pest reduction services, and pollinators, of course, pollinate our fruit and nut trees. I have 240 metres of swales, which are between 4 and 8 metres wide. So it's just way too hard to bring enough cardboard and mulch to really cover those areas. So I really need to grow my own resources. My plan to fix this food forest is to thickly plant out the support species. I've got tube stock here and some I've grown from seed. As all these guys grow, they'll start to shade out the grass, but more importantly, they'll also create biomass that I can use in a chop and drop situation where the mulch will help suppress the grasses. I'm going to start to plant out in this little section here. So first of all, I'm going to cut down this grass so I can actually get to the soil and perhaps get some plants in the ground. As I plant out these little plants, I'm going to put down compost, then some cardboard, and then a layer of shredded leaves and branches to use as the mulch, and this will hopefully help them get established. As the trees grow, I'll be then just cutting grasses and using that as the mulch, which will help further suppress the grass and also help them retain some moisture, just to make sure that they establish really well. There are a number of benefits of mulch. It helps to retain moisture in the soil while also protecting the soil from the erosive effects of rain, and it provides organic material to the soil organisms, who are the key to the health of our plants. By directing the woody mulch to the higher value plants actually leads to an increase in the amount of fungi in the soil. The woody mulch provides lignin that fungi use as a food source. An increase in the amount of fungi is important as they create the conditions needed for optimizing nutrient supply by the soil to our productive trees. The pioneer species survive well in soils that have been disturbed or are poorer soils, as the nutrient requirements are different. We can start with a large number of support trees, but over time, as the soil improves and our productive trees grow, we can give them more space as the numbers of the short-lived pioneer trees reduce. I just wanted to show you that I'm not only planting fast-growing support species, but I'm planting some slower growing trees as well. This one here is a Banksia, which is really quite a slow growing native. But down the track it's going to be a high value plant because it's going to have beautiful nectar containing flowers which attracts the pollinators, but it also just generally attracts wildlife. I'm just making sure that the plants that I'm putting around, I've got a Tagersastia there, I think that's a lily pilly which I can control. That tall one's a pseudoacacia species. Some wattle species, excuse Ruby, she's been chasing rocks into the dam and wants me to throw another one. I've got another wattle there and another wattle there. So all of those can be chopped and just used as mulch. So just with your higher value plants that you want long term, just make sure you're giving them plenty of space away from, like my apple tree there. There's also another apple tree just there. It's got lots of space and we won't have to worry about moving it down the track. Ruby. So I've got my trees in the ground now. All that leaves is to stake them so that if the grass does grow up again, I can find them. Now these stakes I've just made from trimmings from my Robinia. They're really sturdy and they'll last as long as I need them to while these little plants grow. I've also dug up some Jerusalem artichokes and some comfrey root. So I'm just going to spread those around here as well, just while I'm thinking of it. So I finished 6 metres of my swale. I've got quite a bit more to go, but at least it's a start. I've got 12 plants in, I've got comfrey and Jerusalem artichokes, and I'll keep an eye on it and plant some more out if I need to. I will be updating you in future videos, so if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you hit the notify button, you'll be made aware of when I publish more videos so that you can follow along. So I hope you found something of interest in today's video. Please let me know down in the comments. Thanks again for joining me, and bye for now.